Hi, travelers. I'm coming to you with a quick open reading, and I just kind of wanted to get you caught up on what's happening with me. As you guys know, I've been waiting on my teeth, and anybody who's ever been in the military will tell you they move really, really slow when they want to, but then if they want to move you through, they do it really, really quickly. So the VA clinic here has been closed due to COVID since the beginning of the year. Everything was shut down, and so they called, and I went to have minor foot surgery. I went to the periodontist. The prosthodontist is called. They got me in with my my acupuncturist. And so literally for the past 2 weeks, it's been doctor's appointments every other day. And so I'm behind on my work in that sense. So I am working on, I'm going to start after this on the individual readings here for the channel. Website members, even though I didn't send out a newsletter, there are two elemental readings. I think it's elemental earth and elemental air that are posted up to the website. I'm going to finish with the elemental water and fire later this week. So I do ask you to kind of bear with me on this. What else? Oh yeah, I'm gonna be doing some videos for Jessica Adams. That's tentative right now, depending on what's going on with my mouth, but supposedly in October, and I'll be on her channel. So if you want to go to her channel, look up Jessica Adams on YouTube. She does have her own channel. JessicaAdams.com. She has a membership website, but she is the astrologer which I follow, and I utilize her system of astrology because it really, really is something that's quite unique in terms of the house system she uses and how she does it. She's brilliant. I'm such a fan for years. And when I went to my astrology school, that's where I went through with her program, the Sun Sign School. So you can check that out too as well. Other than that, I think that's it. We finally have cooled off. For the past couple of weeks, the temperature has been 95, but the feel-like temperature has been 112, 117. As you guys know, I'm getting my Texas Master Gardener certification, so I'm taking those classes as well. And then this past weekend, I think my daughter and I went out and rescued 13 rose bushes from the botanical gardens. I'm not even a rose fan, okay? I ended up keeping 5, giving 1 to my neighbor, and then another friend came and got 5 more. I think that's not even the right number, but whatever the case may be. No, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4. And my neighbor took, I think it was like 11 bushes. It may have been 13. Hell, I don't know. All I know is we were out there in the heat digging up bushes, and we brought them home. And so doing that, trying to nurse them because they're in complete shock, nurse them back to health, try to figure out where I'm going to plant them in the ground. And this is the first time since, I want to say maybe May, that I'm going to be able to get back into the yard to start working on my beds. And so everything that I have is in pots, and I probably have at the moment maybe, I don't know, 30 or 40 plants in pots, in addition to my vegetables that I lost due to the heat. So I've got to restart my vegetable garden again. It was a real labor of love trying to keep those things alive during the summer months. So I don't know how long this little cool front's going to last, but I'm going to take it. Hopefully I can get out this weekend and get some stuff done. So with that said, I just kind of wanted to give you an update on what's been happening with me. Oh, I am coming to you from my dining room because my daughter, our internet signal has been dropping. We had a guy come over here. He can't seem to figure out what's wrong with it. And so she's in my office because even though her room is right here next to the router or the modem, the signal keeps dropping. So she's in my office and I'm out here in the dining room today. So hopefully this will work. Anyway, I'm going to come to you with a new deck of cards. They are called the Before, I don't know if you can see that, the Before Tarot. Now, these are based on the Rider-Waite Coleman deck, but it talks to us about foresight, about looking at things before they happen, There's a second deck called the After Tarot, and I'll be utilizing those later on during the month. And this shows us what happens after. And so the deck in between the actual Rider-Waite or the actual Waite-Coleman deck is actually in the now. All right. So this is the same principle. We're gonna, do 9 cards, and I'll tell you what I see. We will clarify with La Vida Sibila. And the imagery is quite different on these decks, so it's really an interesting thing. And I'll tell you what I see. So with that being said, let me just get another good shuffle on these. Oh, if you'll follow me on Twitter, and I think my Twitter handle is somewhere on the channel, I'm actually pulling Lost Tarot Nostradamus cards on the political climate, as it were, for our upcoming election. My next question that I'm going to be posing up will be a question about the pandemic and the vaccine. So, if you just kind of want to see something different, you can follow me on Twitter. And, you're free to comment and ask questions, and I'll do what I can to answer them to the best of my ability. That's a very intricate deck. And so I'm literally having to utilize all kinds of books to decode the messages. But y'all know I like doing that kind of stuff. So, all right, here we go. 9 cards. You just saw my daughter walk by. When you come by again, say hi. She's so funny. What's the matter, Luke? Huh? Hey. You want to say hi? Everybody see Luke? Luke. Say hi. Oh, that's such a good. Yeah, such a good boy. Now get away. All right. Here we go. 9 cards down. Knight of Swords. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we got a Mercury retrograde coming up, or Uranus was making some aspects to the Mercury. And Uranus, I think we still have all of those planets in retrograde. Was it like 5 of them? I believe so. So, oh wait, you can't see the camera, can you? Hold on. The cards. Let me get this situated here. Okay, so there is the Knight of Swords. I'm going to move that over a little bit. The 8 of Cups. Well, some of y'all must have got some news that's causing y'all to drink. The World card. Something that has come back around, perhaps. The 5 of Wands. The Knight of Pentacles. The Empress, and as you notice, she actually is not pregnant, and she's already got 2 kids on her lap. The 6 of Cups. You see they're arranging the flowers. The 2 of Swords, and now we know that the woman has blindfolded herself before she is seated. Well, and the Devil card. Now, this is interesting because in the description of the card, they say that the 2 figures are dancing. But to me, this guy looks like he's like, I don't know about that. Yeah? So, I have a 2, a 3, a 5, a 6, an 8. And this whole row here is major arcana cards. So that's quite interesting. Now here, the 2 knights can speak to the idea of doubting the sincerity of a male friend, or the word of a male friend. Back when I told you that this seems to be something that's circular, or it's happened before, it reads as though, to me, that there's been this cycle of fighting and making up, fighting and making up, fighting and making up. Okay? What is underneath the deck? Oh, the death card. And what is interesting about this card is, back in olden days, well, in most cases, cemeteries are outside of the city. In the olden days, they used to be outside of the city limits, so to speak. So here we see Death riding into the cemetery on his way into the city, because, in the middle card, we see Death has arrived in the city. The king is dead. The Pope is imploring him. There's a woman, there's a kid on their knees before Death. And so this implies that something is on the way, something that an end is approaching or is near. And it may be this idea of this cycle of fighting and making up, fighting and making up, fighting and making up. Oh, I don't have my book. So let me go grab my book, my tome, and then we're going to break this down. I'll be right back. And let's take a look to see what this Eight of Cups can mean. Next to, we're just going to go through, I can't look at the two court cards, and this tells me that there's at least two people involved. There may even be children involved in this, because the Empress has her two kids on her lap, and then we see the two children here. We're definitely looking at some kind of partnership, okay? And the idea of being committed to something, because that's what Saturn requires. This is our Saturn card, and Saturn requires that we go through hard times. We have to be committed to working through those things. We have to determine what things are most important to us through our value systems. This is our Venus card. But this card also implies that maybe this is a cycle of something that's really quite karmic and quite negative. Maybe you feel trapped or chained in the situation, but this card also implies, if you see how loosely those chains are around their necks, this card also implies that you're not chained in such a way that you can never be free. Now, I don't know if the male in this particular situation has been, I just get the sense that he's been back and forth, back and forth. He says one thing and then does another. I'm not exactly sure, but we shall see. So let's start with the Eight of Cups, shall we? To see if it will tell us anything near these cards. Nothing about the Eight of Cups. We will move to the Five of Wands. Let's see, where are my wands? I don't know where my wands are. Those are pentacles. These are swords. Here we go. The Five of Wands. I have my hand right on it. Okay, so the Five of Wands next to the Devil is a message for you not to waste your time, efforts, and energies trying to make amends for or fix a problem or situation, as no one is interested at this time, and or the issue has passed. It has been left too late. Which is why I think it's that issue of going back around, back and forth, trying to fix or rectify the situation. But the cards are saying, you know what? It's a waste of time. Don't bother. I think this is why the Death card has come out. Let's take a look at this Six of Cups. And I mean, this is the Empress, and the Empress is the Empress because she don't have time for that kind of foolishness. The Six of Cups with the Empress implies that some work needs to be put into a personal relationship, as there have been some miscommunications and misunderstandings that need to be corrected. And I feel that that's what these two nights are all about. This idea that you've already been, back and forth with this, trying to, rectify it or settle it. And the situation has been nebulous at best. In the sense that it's like 5 steps forward but 10 steps back, if that makes any sense. Of course, we know with the Two of Swords here, this is some kind of choice or decision or opposition against you. Maybe you're opposed against yourself about, should I continue to chain myself to this situation, or you kind of know intuitively that if you get back into the situation or you try to readdress the situation, you're going to be right back where you started from. Yeah. And so sometimes in situations like this, the death card comes in. It's like the cosmic scissors. It comes to cut the situation, to say, oh, stupid thing. It comes to cut the situation, to say it can never go back to the way it was before. Either someone has crossed the Rubicon, they've said something or done something in which it can never be repaired. Maybe you've said something or done something which can never be repaired, or you've come to the recognition that this really is not a healthy situation for you. So the Two of Swords here, let's see. It doesn't say anything, but it I think what this card is telling me is that, because it speaks of tough choices and difficult decisions, of weighing up the pros and cons, right? It can also indicate a stalemate in your affairs and a feeling of not knowing which way to turn. You may need to look at a new or different approach. It tells of mixed emotions and a feeling of confusion, unsettling communications. Do not allow prior grievances and bitterness to influence your communication. It asks you to show caution and restraint against making rash decisions you may regret later. Okay? So it's all of these things combined into one. I just get the sense that for some of you, this really is this idea of a situation that's been repeating itself. There's a repetitive energy to this. You get back together and then you fight, right? But maybe the sex is good, so you come back together again. Does that make sense? This Knight of Pentacles to me represents the idea of some kind of gift after taking some time out. Let's try again. Here's a peace offering. Let's try to make up. And I don't know if that's come to you or if you sent that message out to someone else. For some of you, you may be on the fence about that. You're not sure if you should. So I'm going to take a look at that. Because to me, the Empress implies that, in a sense, you're in a pretty good place. And so if you're in a pretty good place, why go back to something that placed you in a situation where you weren't in a good place? Maybe emotionally, or maybe, how sometimes you will re-involve yourself in a situation and it makes you feel dirty or bad, you know what I mean? And you hate yourself for it, but you feel as though you can't, say no. Well, you can, it's just a matter of committing yourself to doing so, right? Let's take a look at this Knight of Pentacles to see who is this and what is this offer about. Conselante sorpresa. The letterato. And the conversazione. Quite interesting. The conselante sorpresa is saying that this offer came. You really weren't expecting it. Maybe it's even a little bit better than what you thought it was going to be. This is the idea that you weren't expecting maybe to hear from the person or see the person or get an opportunity to meet with the person again. Here we see the letterato. This implies that it is someone usually between the ages of 40, maybe 50 years old. Is a neutral character in terms of the cards itself, but is someone who's very learned. Could be a scholar, could be, a lawyer, a scientist, someone who's extremely scholarly. Maybe not quite a very passionate individual, but, nevertheless, they can give decent information or are decent people in that respect. But we see that he's actually sitting in his office waiting to speak to someone. So this is the offer. I don't know if the person is waiting for you to accept, or if you've put the offer and the person is waiting for you to come. But we see that there is a face-to-face meeting that comes up. So this is about conversations. The card implies that these are happy times, the conversation is great, everything is good. But we see here that there's some hesitation about that. I think this is based basically on the way things used to be. Nostalgia, happy times, kind sentiments, gift giving, sharing with each other, actually working together. You see that? Making things beautiful. But then we see this Two of Swords here. So let's take a look at this. Now, I don't know if maybe this guy's married, this person is married, maybe you're married, and this is a situation where you've been back and forth in an affair situation, and, you know, one of you've been waiting on, you've been telling the other one, you know, I'm gonna get divorced, it's gonna happen, we're gonna get together. I don't know. Riunione, the meeting. Well, we see the offer to meet face to face has come about, but now you're not sure you should do that. The Il Nemico. You have a bad feeling about this individual. You feel perhaps that maybe it's going to revert back to the way it was before. If that is the case, this card comes up to confirm that yes, this is not a good thing for you. Allegrezza al cuore. That's so interesting because this card speaks about coming together in, what do you call it? In situations where there's celebrations. This could also be in a business sense. The imagery is that of three people. There's the bride here in the red. This is her brother. She's related to him by the color. She has on the red skirt and the green top. He's got on the green pants and the red top. And that is the groom. So I don't know if the cards are saying that if you believe that the person's going to renege on the situation again or they're going to pull back, then that's true. Why? Because they're happy in their marriage the way they are, regardless of whatever they've been telling you. Okay? They're not going to leave. I'm not sure exactly if this Empress implies that there may be another kid on the way. There's two children already involved here. I'm going to look at this. I'm going to look at the Empress and then I'm going to look at the Devil. Sospiri. Bambino. And the Donna Maritata. Indeed. The ship has sailed. The ship is past. And let me explain to you why this card tells me that there is another baby on the way. Okay? Maybe you don't know about it yet, but I'm telling you. In this card, we see that the woman is sitting on the side of the ship has sailed, right? And it speaks to sadness and tears and anxiety, a situation in which you cried a lot of tears. But even though she's faced looking at the ship sailing, the actual problem is coming in the direction of which the arrow is pointing, saying that this is something that's going to be coming up in the future, that this is what the anxiety is. There is the baby, and here is the woman with children. Kind of the imagery being repeated here, a woman with two children. So I do sense that there's a new baby coming up. You don't know that yet. You're going to hear about that. The person may be telling you, you know what, I don't even want another kid. I don't want to do that. It's gonna tie me down more. But it didn't stop him from having sex, right? So, and maybe the person's been telling you they haven't been having sex with their wife, but that's not true. And you're gonna find out here in just a moment that the person has been lying to you. Costanza, Dottore, and the Mercante. The Costanza means the unchanging nature of it. It's about perseverance. Um, this could say, falling on the devil card, that you've been persevering in the situation. You've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and seeing the person when you can, but the person is chained. Okay, and even though there's a temptation there, he's there, playing in the temptation, dancing to the tune of the devil, but yet he really isn't that committed to it. All right. The Doctore will represent a King of Wands, but the other situation about the Doctore is sometimes this is about being in a relationship with someone that you are trying to fix or help. The person keeps telling you, "Oh, I'm so miserable in my marriage, yada, 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 yada. You make me feel so good. He's been making plans with you, but yet, okay, nothing has changed." Here is the Mercante. This tells me that this person is going to make plans to do something else. This is the businessman. This is the person who can, particularly here with this devil, can try to lead you astray, lead you astray to take you off course from where you were before. And it does look to me as though, the end came, but there's still some connections here. Let me go get I forgot my other cards. We're going to pull a Golden Nostradamus. And a Romance Angel card, okay? So first we're going to pull a Romance Angel. And this is a situation. It's like this. I ask people all the time. They say, "Yo, but he keeps calling me or he keeps texting me." So the question is, does he pay your cell phone bill or do you pay your cell phone bill? Because if you pay your cell phone bill, you ain't got to answer it, right? And so this is a situation where if the person calls, don't answer the phone. If the person texts, don't respond back. If you've got to put the phone down and walk away from it for a few minutes to get a handle on the temptation to jump when the person calls, only you can control that. And the person's not doing anything to you that you're not allowing them to do. Understood? Shows up at your door. Who pay your rent? You ain't got to open the door. Sends you an email. Who's paying your internet bill? You ain't got to respond. You can put them on block. There are lots of things that you can do to take control of this situation so you can get your life back. Because the truth of the matter is, death has come to say it is coming. It is telling you that we see all of these things, these people, these graves. It's in a situation. It's in a graveyard, right? And so it's up to you to recognize that you can't resurrect the past. You cannot. The card, separation. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon. So the cards are quite clear. Let's read this. The romance angels are helping you during this period of separation from your partner. This card comes to you as an indication of angelic support as you spend time away from each other. While you are apart, the angels can help you fill your hours with healthy activities, which will help your present or future relationship. Like I said, if the temptation is too strong, put the damn phone down and do 10 jumping jacks. Then you can get your summer body back. Okay? This card may indicate a temporary period of aloneness, such as while your partner is traveling for business, or a time in your life when you're single and preparing for your next relationship. It can also mean a marital separation or divorce. Call upon the angels for support and guidance during these transitions. They can help you discover the deep healing to be mined as you spend time alone, which prepares you for the next part of your relationship journey. Which would you rather have, your own man or somebody else's? And this applies whether this is same-sex or heterosexual, whomever's going to take the role of the male in the relationship, okay? Let's see what Mr. Nostradamus has to tell us, okay? Because I think the universe here is trying to help you to move along. Painful? Yes. Sad? Yes. Fraught with tension and anger and perhaps resentment? Yes. And sometimes that resentment is more so towards ourselves than anything else. But you can chalk it up to experience, not necessarily a mistake, because maybe you can end up seeing the good in this. All right? What you will and what you won't stand for in a relationship. You know? Number 15, the eagle. Well, that's the rebirth. That's the flip side, the higher octave of Scorpio. You have the scorpion and you have the eagle. And the eagle is, you've gone through all of the underground, ugly, nasty, power control, desire, addiction, obsession. You've gone through all of those things now to emerge as the phoenix so that you can rise and fly away. You can see things more clearly now and see a path for yourself. Number 15, the eagle. Without wealth, virtue, and nobility be warned, are like seaweed on a deserted beach, scorned. The eagle represents your pride, generosity, and nobility of soul, which you must develop and then manifest to everyone. Be noble or seek this virtue in yourself. All right. So, put the shoe on the other foot, so to speak. Let's say put yourself in the situation of the wife. And how would you feel if, you were in that position? And if you wouldn't like it, and you obviously don't like the situation that you're in, at least, it doesn't seem like it's a happy situation. But put yourself in the reverse position. And then see why it is that you're allowing this person to have their cake and eat it too. All right? So, that's what I have for you. I hope that message helped. And keep looking for the individuals that are going to be posted. Hopefully I should have the majority of them done by the weekend, because my internet's going to be out. The guy's coming to fix it, so they say. And then website members, be looking for those. Don't forget, you got 2 already uploaded, and then there's going to be 2 more that I'm going to be posting, elementals, water and fire. So until next time, thank you so much. I love you guys. Bye. Be good to yourselves. I don't know how to turn it off. Bye.